Remy boy, yeah, yeah. 1730. Actually, that guy got life. I'm actually not gonna do that. Hold on. Anyways, welcome back to No Cooldown Podcast, baby. We here. No Cooldowns back in the building. It's your host with the most, ThatManTripp, in the building. Of course, with my podcast partner in crime, WenEazy. WenEazy, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Cannot complain.
Yeah, man, we here for a special Sunday edition, man. You know, if you're watching the video version or a video clip of this, I'm looking very cozy right now. You know what I'm saying? Out of context, it looks kind of wild, but trust me, there is a reason. You know what I'm saying? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And if you're watching the Growth Multiverse Invitational Tournament, yeah, I was too suited up, so I had to, you know what I'm saying, come revert this, bro. But it's been going. It's a pretty interesting week, man. I think we had to make this little audible just because there was a lot of news that came out literally on Friday and Saturday. So, you know, we had to kind of catch up and do our thing there. But before we continue, just wanted to say thank you all so much. We have passed 200 plays on No Cooldown Podcast across all platforms. So we just want to stop, say thank you guys so much. Again, we started this, what? Damn. Oh my gosh. Almost like 10 months ago. Like probably, we're approaching a year at this point. We're approaching a year. We're like, I think it's sometime in December. But we've been doing this for a little bit. Again, we're trying to remain consistent with it. We're trying to take this to the moon, and just the fact that we're building consistency. We're doing our thing. We passed 200 plays. This is honestly such an honor, such a pleasure. And this, I got to keep it a buck. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love to talk about games, and sometimes it's hard to again try and keep up with the trend of content and doing all these things. Just having a nice place to sit back, relax, break down everything, and just have a conversation, laugh, have some serious moments, bet money, so to speak. I love No Cooldown, and I can't thank y'all enough for 200 plays, man. But how you feel about 200 plays, bro?
It's pretty impactful. Sorry to anybody in the recording if you can hear my mom is cleaning, because Sunday, so music playing, cleaning the crib. But I don't think that it should get picked up. But just in case if you hear some singing, it's definitely not me. But 200 plays is actually pretty nuts, man. Like, I didn't expect didn't expect us to get this far, but it was just like I never really thought about how far we would have gotten, because every episode is kind of its own isolated thing. It's like, oh, sick, we get to talk about what happened this week, and we get to talk about the news that's going on. So it's always fun to do it, man. I really love being on No Cooldown, and I love every podcast episode we do. It's always fun, even though there's some days where I'm like dragging. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I want to talk about video games for 2 hours. As soon as we go live, it's like a different beast. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's chat about what these smart people are doing in this hard-working industry, because everybody's great.
No, I hear it, man. So for everybody that's dropped a like on any tweet, rated us 5 stars, and if you haven't, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We are also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Google Podcasts, I believe. But I forgot the other name of the podcast, but we're damn near everywhere, man. Just search up No Cooldown, and you'll likely find us there. But I can't thank y'all enough for, again, making this thing happen. And, sooner rather than later, man, we're going to be a household name in this joint, bro. We're really trying to be one of the best podcasts out there, and we're making the steps to make that happen little by little. So, watch this space. Watch this space. But, enough of the sappy shit. Let's get that out the way. Let's talk about news from this week. We don't even really have segments like that, bro, because, I mean, news is just so potent in certain areas. We were just like, all right, cool. Just keep that in and of itself, bro. So are you ready to get to all the main stories, my dog? What's going on?
Absolutely, man. It's been a busy week, so we got to get through them.
For sure. Well, let's get into it, man. First and foremost, Multiverses was back in the news for a recent patch, and no, not for the release of Gizmo, but a change to Velma. And no, it wasn't a nerf. It wasn't a nerf to the kit, per se, but it was a nerf to her white privilege, potentially, that she can no longer summon the cops once she builds up enough evidence through her snooping passive ability. It's now replaced with Velma calling the mystery machine and having the gang kidnap the target. So how are we feeling about this Velma change?
I thought at first it was literally a joke. The fact that it is real, I mean, like, honestly, I like it way more, but it's still super funny. But I also love the inclusion of the mystery machine, because it is very iconic to Scooby-Doo. And honestly, would have loved if, like, instead of it showing like the police officer when you call it, it would have been like Fred, like, yo, Fred, we got the guy. Yeah. But maybe it's because some of the people in the Scooby-Doo gang might show up as characters. So, you never know. I think it's a funny patch, and I think that I think they're really listening to the community. Every time there's a new patch or something, I feel like I've never been disappointed. It's almost always like, hey, they heard our cries.
Yeah, nah, 100%. The craziest shit was the article picture. It was Velma calling the police, but then it was LeBron. I was like, bro, y'all niggas are actually not slick. Y'all are not slick. I promise you. I gotta find whoever made that picture, bro. I just want to talk, bro. I just want to talk. But I honestly think from a community standpoint and an I guess attentiveness standpoint for player first games for the multiverses team, they do such a good job to again just keep their ear to the streets for everything and make changes as needed. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some things that they can't obviously control because WB did like all the modding bans and stuff like that. And thanks WB, a good job. But internal player first, like, you know, if there's anything that's a potential problem or a potential hazard, they're always keeping their ear to the streets for it. They're always listening out to the people. They're always checking Twitter. They're always checking social media platforms. You know, I'm assuming their Discord and their Reddit forums and stuff. They're always looking out for things that can be tweaked and can be improved, whether it be a gameplay change or whether it be, you know, something like this where it's like, you know, it has a potentially adverse impact outside of this and people can construe it as something else. You know what I mean? Like, just to the level of attentiveness and quickness to change for the better. It's really, again, it's really dope thing to see, man. Like it was probably their original vision for Velma to call the cops. Cause I mean, she calls the cops, you know, in the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She's the feds. But understanding that negative connotation how it can have, they decided to adjust their vision. They adjusted it because they knew, hey, listen, that could potentially cause some harm to people down the line. You know what I'm saying? If it's taken a certain way. So kudos to them. Honestly, I need you to you know, do that, keep that change, and then nerf her in general, just into the ground if you could. I would really appreciate that. And besides that, man, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing, man. You just dropped the big patch. You changed all like a lot of the hurt boxes and hit boxes and stuff. You know, it was a lot of changes going on, but a lot of it for the better. So, you know, multiverses, you guys are doing a good job.
1000%.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving in to the next story. So it seems that Cyberpunk is coming back beyond the Edge Runner show as CD Projekt Red announced their first DLC expansion, Phantom Liberty, which introduces a new section of Night City with a spy espionage narrative associated with apparently the U.S. government. So it's apparently the only planned DLC that CD Projekt Red have in the works for the game, and the DLC is set to drop in 2023. Thoughts on Phantom Liberty?
The issue with this game, and I've said it multiple times, is just that anything that you drop from it now, it just the franchise has already been tainted. I'm sure there's people who stuck through and who've played Cyberpunk till this day. No bone in my body has been like, let's go buy Cyberpunk, and that's just because it sucked for a long time, and I don't want to buy a bad game. And it didn't suck because the gameplay mechanics or like the game itself was bad. It just wouldn't play. And I know the frustration of having a game that won't play on your console or your PC. So I've never really been interested in it. Shout outs to the Cyberpunk fans. I'm sure you guys are super hype. I'm happy for you guys. I hope that this DLC comes out with little to no problems like the base game did. I will not be checking in on it. I don't even think I've watched the trailer for it because I genuinely am just not looking forward to this game at all.
Damn, strong, baby, strong. You know what? I've been watching the discourse around Cyberpunk, you know, as they've been making updates. It's like their redemption arc has been going on very quietly, but it's been steadily growing. People have been coming around to Cyberpunk. People have been, again, giving their second opinions on it as it's grown and as, you know, getting something. I think a recent update, they had like a driving overhaul or something like that to like the vehicle play, which is good. For me, honestly, I'm kind of interested to go back. I know for me, like I ran into problems on my PC at one point, so like I just kind of stopped. Like the problems weren't rampant on PC, but for me, there were some glitches that like, I went through some crashes. And I was like, yo, listen, I kind of don't want to like go through that again. You know what I'm saying? I just left it at the wayside and never really came back because I was kind of like afraid you would fuck up my PC. So I was kind of very, very wary of that. I knew it wasn't as bad on PC as it was on console, but I was still like, I don't want to take the risk just in case. And I kind of left it by the wayside where it was. But now they have the DLC coming. There's all these overhauls that have been happening to the game. Honestly, I would be, if there's not much for me to do in early 2023, I'm going to probably go and run through this game, probably do a couple of run throughs and see what's going on, bro. Like I know Cyberpunk in its general public perception is going to be tainted for a lot of people. 100%. That's never going to change. It's always going to have that reputation. It came out shit and it was shit for a long time until they started to fix it. You know, like a year later, they shut down PlayStation Store, which has never happened before. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of negative connotation to their brand. But for me and my individual, I guess, determination of a game, I at least want to wait because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not fully tied to the game, so I can wait on it becoming better. I mean, personally, you know what I'm saying? I can wait and be like, all right, cool. I'll give you a chance when you guys fix up, do some updates here and there. I'll do it when I have nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I can slot you into a certain thing. But, you know, in the cases of, you know, some people who aren't that I guess keen on waiting for it, they have the other releases that are coming through. 2023 is going to be a stacked year. You know, we're definitely going to talk about this at the business end of this year, especially with the Game Awards and that season. 2023 is going to be an actually nasty year for gaming. Like it's going to be so much content. So will it get lost in the shuffle? Will it you know kind of hold its own in terms of, you know, garnering some buzz and attention? We'll find out. But the DLC itself, the trailer actually looked pretty decent. Again, it's a whole new section of Night City. I'm interested to see what that you know, what the plot definitely will be. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sucker for some good spy and espionage type shit. So we'll definitely have to see about it, man. But I differ in opinion from Wen. I'll be willing to give it a chance, even though you tried to kill my PC a few years ago.
You let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I will. All right, moving on down. We got a new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer showcasing some of the 3 story paths you can take in the game and some more information, including the Starfall Street pathway, which is basically Team Star as being the Academy's antagonist, led by a woman named Mela, and you're able to go into their encampment, face them, and that's a whole story path in and of itself, kind of facing Team Star. The next one is a Path of Legends, which basically takes you on a quest to find the legendary Herba Mystica, and a character named Arven will be a key figure in that storyline as well, taking you through some different locations and stuff. And during that little quest line, we saw a new Pokemon Cloth, which is like a huge ass crab, and like there was like a even bigger one that just popped up, and I feel like those were like, you know, like a more, I guess, rare types or something like that. It could be specific story ones that was shown off. And then of course the third story route, story lane, is of course the classic Victory Road, going through all the gyms and facing the Pokemon League. It has Jita and Nimona as key characters. It showed off some new gym leaders, some looks, and gym tests, which seem to offer a different experience as you make your way towards gym leaders in different towns. So I think there was a little bit of a snippet in, like, you had to find a certain Pokemon. I forget the name of the Pokemon, but it looks like a sunflower. Like, you had to find them in, like, this little, you know, open play area and stuff, which was interesting. Interesting change to how gyms might function. There was a lot more different stuff showed off, including Sudowoodo and its transformation into Trudowoodo, which is actually a grass type, which is like, yo, wow, damn, they finally done did that. Okay. And of course, there was more Pokemon shown off as well. Ceruledge and Amaruff, I believe. And there were version-specific Pokemon as well. And yeah, set to drop, what is it, November 18th? How you feel about it?
It definitely looks really good. I actually was at GameStop the other day looking at, went to go buy Splatoon. And me and my boy Justin, who usually what we do is we buy the double pack, and one of us just picks one. Usually whoever has the stronger feeling for the one game, like I'll end up taking the other one. I don't care. Yeah. But every time I see stuff about this game, I'm always like, you know what? This actually might be a good game. I honestly expect to buy this game, play it for maybe 20 hours, and then put it down because I got lost. I either got lost in another game or something else came out that was more pressing that I needed to play, or like I always do, buy a game and then spend just all my time on a free-to-play game. No, it's literally the free-to-play games take up all my time because I want to get better at multiverses. I want to play Fortnite. Like, that's usually what happens. But this game looks really insane. It looks like a real good chill game, kind of a decompression. Like, yo, I got maybe an hour before I got to go head to bed. You know what? Let me go knockouts. Let me go trade my Pokemon real quick. Let me just go have a real chill, fun time. But this game looks insane. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm sure the Pokemon community is dying to get their hands on it. I keep thinking that this game is coming out sooner than it is. It's in November, but every time I think it's like, oh, is this out next month yet? Or like, when is this coming out? But the new additions are great. Finally, Sudowoodo's a grass type. Every time I play against that character, I always forget that it's rock, and I can't even remember what the other one. Yeah, and I'm just like, whatever, bro. Like, I see green, you're lying to me, but I can't wait to play it, man. I really, really am excited because I missed Arceus, so I don't plan on missing this one.
Yeah, 100%. Again, thinking about how this leads on to the multiplayer aspects and stuff that we already got in the tidbits of, this could be a deep game, bro. This game could be deep. Like I sometimes miss how like crazy expansive this stuff might actually be. Again, when you add, like, you think about, okay, 4 players, you're going through all the story modes together, or you can go through it separately and stuff like that, and then meet up at certain points, battle, do your thing. it seems like they're really taking a step forward with the franchise, and I hope that they don't revert. They keep going like this, and they expand again on storylines. They expand on different characters. They expand on exploration. Keep your foot on the gas with this, bro. Because Pokemon should really be in a different place in the next 2 to 3 years. I think, and this is this and Arceus are really the building blocks to start moving it in that direction to where it's a whole nother level, from a visual standpoint, from a quality standpoint, from a gameplay element standpoint. It just needs to have more, and I feel like this is really the beginning of that expansion. So yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Dang, I sounded proper right there. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, Nintendo, give me money, bro. Give me money, man. Look how I'm picking up your game, bro. Oh, let's get on to some juicy news, though. Oh, my goodness. So we got some more information on the Xbox and PlayStation debacle and the quote-unquote child custody of Call of Duty, as PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan stated that a recent offer made by Microsoft to maintain support of Call of Duty on their platform was inadequate on many levels. Now, specifically, Microsoft offered to keep Call of Duty on Sony platforms 3 years after the current Activision PlayStation agreement ends. Ryan said that this has failed to take into account the impact on our gamers, and he wants to guarantee PlayStation gamers to continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's deal undermines that principle. So, I mean, how do you feel about this? Jim Ryan kind of striking out, like, hey, he kind of flashed back into the public because I think a week or so ago, Phil Spencer was like, hey, we came to him with an offer, and then now Jim Ryan's saying all this. He's kind of letting the details out the bag. I mean, how you feel?
It's such a tricky thing. I personally, like, I understand the love for Call of Duty. So I feel for them. But I also understand my hatred for Call of Duty. So to me, it's kind of just like, oh no, I get 500 gigabytes of space back. Oh, what a tragedy. Oh no, unbalanced gameplay. I'm going to miss out. Terrible. Like, I get it. I hate that for the Call of Duty community, though, because I know how a lot of people love Call of Duty. And I don't know. I just don't know if I feel like we haven't really seen the impact of this yet, though. Like, I just feel like this is all hypotheticals. Like, we're arguing about hypotheticals. Like, we're when it happens, then I think we should really be like concerned about it. And I understand them being concerned about it because they are essentially the first in line to see the possible impact this has.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of us as on the consumer side should really be worried because, believe you me, if we see the negative effects of this, by the time it hits us, there will already be lawsuits in place. Like the action will have already be taking place. And I understand the worry of it. You don't want it to get that far. So I understand their concern. I don't think it'll be as bad as like we're making it out to seem though. Like I cannot see Xbox being like, let's cut out a majority, because I think a lot of people on PlayStation play Call of Duty, if not a majority of the Call of Duty fan base is on PlayStation. Like I don't think they're gonna hurt their own bag off of like console exclusivity. Because again, the only people who care about console exclusivity are the consumers, and you guys don't really you don't have control over any of this.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
The console wars are only real in the minds of people that are making it real.
Facts. Literally. Here's the thing that gets me, bro. One, they catting like spicy motherfuckers, bro. They kind of catting off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, they trying to spill the tea live in these interviews and stuff, bro. They trying to make it seem a certain way, because the way Jim Ryan worded it in the article, he was like, oh, only 3 years after the agreement. You know what I'm saying? Only 3 years. Yeah, he was trying to make it seem like, yo, this is like. He was dead ass saying like, yo, this is the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals. He tried to pull a Trump on this nigga, bro. I'm like, yo, you gotta relax, dog. You gotta chill out. But here's the thing, though. You know, from a logistical business sense, that Call of Duty would never go into one exclusive platform ever again. If they even did, they never did that. They've never done that. You know what I'm saying? They've only done that on the front of DLC and paid content and timing. That's the only way that Call of Duty's operated in terms of any exclusive deals and whatnot. And let's keep it a buck right now. From a business standpoint, Phil Spencer would be a dummy to ever remove it off the PlayStation Store, just off of numbers, just off of sold numbers. Why would you take a whole portion of your business that you're acquiring, and why would you slash it into a third of it, and then take that 1/3, you know what I'm saying, leave 2/3 on the table just because you don't want it on PlayStation? That makes no sense from a business standpoint. So he's not going to do that. I think the battle lies here. My personal opinion, and I could be wrong. I could be, chatting shit. I'm not on the inside of these conversations. I'm not in the, the regulatory boardroom checking all the anti-competitive stuff. I think that this has to do with offerings post-base game. This has to do with adding stuff to the Xbox Game Pass. This has to do with adding DLC first on Xbox Game Pass. This has to do with adding skins, adding, whatever different maps, guns, blah, 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 first on Xbox Game Pass. And then you get it 30 days later, or you get it a month later. And I feel like it was the wording he said specifically, the highest quality COD experience. And that means what PlayStation has now. They get the maps, like, they get the maps first. At one point, they got the maps first. At one point, they got all this stuff first before anybody else. And Jim Ryan it's like selfishness. Why would I want to give up my plate? I want to give it, and for a worse plate, I'm still gonna get food, but this plate it's the nicest plate in the house. Why would I get rid of this plate? You know what I'm saying? It's like he is very, very keen to keep Call of Duty right where it is. And who wouldn't as a businessman? Jim Ryan's not wrong in the business sense. He wants to keep the advantage in his court, obviously. But this is where it lies. I feel like the argument is being construed as, oh, he wants to take Call of Duty off of PlayStation. He wants to make everything anti-competitive. Xbox wants to make this anti-competitive, make it become an exclusive, take PlayStation out of the game. And I don't think it's the war on that front. It's not a total rescinding of Call of Duty on PlayStation. That would make no business sense. It's the addition of Call of Duty content onto Xbox Game Pass because it's gained so much momentum, because it's gained so much steam in a lot of different areas. And if you guys still remember the news a bit we did a few weeks ago about Riot putting their games on Xbox Game Pass, and they put all their Valorant skins, or they're gonna put all the Valorant skins, all the League of Legends skins, all that stuff. That business model added, that's gonna be a recipe for success for Xbox Game Pass. And if they add Call of Duty to that, they're gonna be in a different level. I'm telling you, it's going to be a very different, much more enticing look for the casual gamer who could possibly turn around and say, hey, I think we should probably look at Xbox now because they got stuff that we want. You know what I'm saying? They got deals on that front. And, I feel like a lot of these signs that we've seen over the past few weeks from PlayStation, like, we're going to raise the price of PlayStation everywhere else except in America, except the United States, where the Xbox is the most competitive. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna release these anti-competitive statements about how, oh yeah, these guys are gonna take everything away from us. They're gonna take Call of Duty away from us. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be a monopoly, blah blah blah. If they do go through with this acquisition, all these moves, I feel like it's just to stop the momentum of Xbox Game Pass, because that could really shift the tide in terms of who has the best service and offering at Xbox, because everything's going to a service-based type of thing. Even the bigger heads are getting into it. So why wouldn't you try and stop it?
Yeah, it's funny because at first we were in an era of free-to-play games taking over the market. Now we're back in an era. Now Xbox has made it so that
subscription.
We're gonna start paying
subscriptions
to play free-to-play games the best possible way. Which at the end of the day makes you think why don't we just pay for the games to begin with? But hey, that's too much thinking.
It's gotta be a ruse, man. It's gotta be, listen, it's a free-to-play game. You know what I'm saying? You're playing this for free, but then they get baited into thinking it's all free. And then, you know what I'm saying, you end up paying $120 in 3 weeks. You're like, yo, what the hell just happened? But I like this game. It's free. Son. Nah. That's just, it's like proxy war, son. Like, they'll never outright say, well, they're at war or they're going to go this certain way. They're just going to say, hey, listen, I don't know what's going on. Like, nothing's really happening. Not to me. But then they're going to keep operating how they are. But I really think this comes down to how Xbox is going to move with Xbox Game Pass. That's just my personal opinion of what this debacle is, man. I feel like Sony's trying to put them roadblocks up, like, in every possible way. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's an interesting world they're seeing. We're seeing gaming shape in the front of our eyes, but again, like I said before, we will not see the effects. We will not feel the effects until years later. It's like when a new president is elected. We see what has happened, but we don't feel it until damn near close to they're almost out of office.
100%. And it's going to be an interesting time, but I'm telling you, this is going to be, I feel like this is going to be more important than we think, years down the line when certain, things take shape. After this whole wave of acquisitions, who knows if it will even cease? You know what I mean? For these two big companies. I know other companies are acquiring stuff, but for them two specifically, how will it progress and how will it develop in terms of their offerings for the consumer? I feel like that this is a part of an important conversation that's being had, and a lot of people aren't seeing it just yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. I'm sorry. That's some spicy shit. But I ain't gonna lie. So
No,
I'm
it's
like,
crazy.
they was talking their shit. But anyways, let's move on to some other news here. It seems like the new direction of the Battlefield team is taking shape as EA announced a lot of new changes, including the exit of creative director Lars Gustafsson, who served and worked with the franchise since the start of the first game, the creation of a new studio, Ridgeline Games, and the appointment of Halo creator Marcus Leto, or co-creator, so to speak. Ridgeline's first project is actually announced to be a narrative campaign set in the Battlefield universe. So, Vince Zampella was very ecstatic to get Marcus Leto on board. Of course, he was a part of the original creation of Halo, worked with the Bungie team for years. Ridgeline Games, a brand new studio under the, again, EA banner, the Battlefield banner as well. The graphic on Twitter was like, Battlefield, and then all those studios with Ridgeline included was there. A narrative campaign. How are we feeling about this news?
Yo, unless the narrative is a soldier who has to deliver a crisp $60 to a young Dominican streamer who got finessed and finagled.
Plus 30.
Actually, no,
Plus 30.
Plus 30. My bad. $90 to a crisp, to a nice young up and coming Dominican streamer. I don't really think I want to play that game, honestly. I'm not very much interested. The only Battlefield narrative I want to see is the Battlefield narrative of refunds. That's the narrative I would like to see.
I'm dead. This man said refund entertainment, Zampella, refund entertainment.
You know what I'm gonna be happy about when they sign on the co-creator of PayPal so that they can fucking make the refund process a lot easier. That's who I'm looking forward to them signing. Like, I don't know, man. You remember a Battlefield campaign? I don't really remember the Battlefield campaigns like that. And you're telling me, yo, we're gonna make a new narrative? Well, bro, you can't even make a new multiplayer. I don't give a fuck about the narrative.
Oh my gosh, my eyes. My memory is super selective, but Bad Company 2, I feel like just the overall tone of Bad Company 2, like the story and stuff that they had involved in that was actually, I mean, that's why people liked it so much. I feel like that and a multiplayer experience was like, well, much more so a multiplayer experience, but people still remember some of that, like off the top of like brand association because of like, just some of the characters that were shown off in that.
Battlefield was Bad Company 2 release date. Let's see when this game came out. 2010? Whoa. I don't even know if the EA logo was the same back then.
Oh my gosh. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that point in a second.
Name one character from Battlefield 4's campaign.
Operation Metro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care. Make it a good fucking multiplayer. That's what we wanted.
I remember Metro was in the campaign. That's all I remember. It was like the first mission, I think.
Cool, Battlefield, dude. Fucking this is a big ass problem that's in front of you. It's the fact that nobody's playing Battlefield 2042, and the people who are playing it, who are like typing their comment section in the chat right now, bro, go play anything else, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is what content looks like, huh? Who would even thought? The fact that Halo has more content drops than Battlefield is quite sad. Like, what are we doing here?
Nah, man. Listen, I'm going to try and provide both sides. I'm trying my personal stance and what I think EA is trying to go for. I'll start with what EA is trying to go for. Listen, EA needs iconic characters. Well, they need more iconic characters, especially in the you struck the nail on the head. What iconic characters come from the Battlefield franchise you can name off the top of your head? Exactly. Okay, how many iconic characters or like notable characters can you name from the Call of Duty franchise?
Oh, you see what I?
I was thinking rhetorically. But you can name one off the top of your head. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like Price and Soap. Like, yeah, no, there's a bunch.
Boom. 2 right there. Price, Soap, Ghost. That's 3. You know what I'm saying? Roach. 3 minimum. Roach, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're in terms of a single player experience, and you can't bank on nostalgia unless you add a map in Battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Unless you add a gun. You know what I'm saying? Most of their nostalgia comes from their old multiplayer experiences. They have nothing to draw from, you know what I'm saying, in terms of characters. They have nothing much. I mean, there's characters in Battlefield, 1 and 5 and stuff like that. They were kind of detailed, but again, they didn't stick.
Yeah.
So it's the fact of, I feel like EA's initiative to start employing and boosting a lot more single player experiences, because I think they talked about this recently. They want to, buff up the multiplayer side of their game offering because of Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survival, and stuff like that. They wanted to make that a focus. They said, okay, this stuff can still sell, so let's try and make it happen. There is a problem of, if you have such a storied franchise where most of its prestige came from multiplayer experiences, maps, and player moments, but not characters in a single player narrative, you're kind of starting from ground zero and not giving people exactly what they want in the Battlefield franchise. Like, people just want a Battlefield game that works on at least the first week. They want a good Battlefield multiplayer experience that works the first week with great maps, great guns, great gameplay, and stuff like that. You guys be so close yet so far almost every time on that front. It hurts. And a consistent content offering, you don't got that whatsoever right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. It's tough for people to see. I feel like some people might construe this as, okay, so they're saying multiplayer. Why do they need a campaign, bro? Just focus on the multiplayer, bro. Who cares? People aren't going to care. You got to give them a reason to care. So from EA's standpoint of them trying to make something happen, it's their initiative of creating single player games, and they want to create more of a single player catalog. And I feel like they want to create a pantheon of characters within the Battlefield franchise that you can bank off of, that you can call on immediately. Like, yo, I remember that character. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have that immediate recall, you know what I'm saying, for characters in that franchise. They want to have that name value, because you couldn't do a Modern Warfare 2, you know what I'm saying, if you didn't have the characters. You couldn't have a major sequel or a major recall of a multiplayer game without those characters that you have to bank on. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like that's a part of Call of Duty's success, because of the single player campaign. That's why I feel like that's a part why Call of Duty's so big, because if it was just multiplayer, it would have been big. But it wouldn't have that superstar status, you know what I'm saying, that it does have. It wouldn't have that juggernaut status if it wasn't for the campaign that was built and set up. Because there's certain things that, we'll also get to Call of Duty later in the show, but there's certain things and certain moments that propelled everything over the top in every sense of Call of Duty's presentation. And campaign was at the head of that. And sometimes campaign was at the head of that. Multiplayer just came in and then took over the reins and kept moving the ball. But you have to be good on both fronts. And so it's kind of like Battlefield starting from scratch. That's why I think that they're starting. That's what they want to aim towards, having iconic characters so people can bank on and create a good narrative and create a Battlefield universe, so to speak. Now, how I feel, I don't care. Yeah. Unless you prove to me with beyond a shadow of a doubt. Unless you can prove to me that this is something that's a compelling story that I could be sitting for, I don't care. Fix the multiplayer game first. And this, I don't know what the setup is. I don't know internally. I wish you all the best. You know what I'm saying? I actually want this to be a good game. You already know the saying on the show. But it feels like they're already shifting towards, like, 2042. I feel like support for this, like, again, is waning very, very steadily. And they're trying to, gear up for this next wave of Battlefields and stuff like that. But to me, I can't care enough, because I don't have the character basis behind it. I don't have, is it just on the conflict? Is it, I'd say your best shot is going back to Battlefield Bad Company. Go back to that modern era with that type of style, like again, just like the kind of the raw, like war, like, say a little bit of comedy in there, like having that range. I feel like that's where you could have the best narrative for, for Battlefield. Do you remember any of the characters from the Hardline campaign?
No, not even a little bit.
Me neither. I tried to think of Hardline. I couldn't think of one, bro. It's a real big problem that I think, again, EA is pushing Battlefield to address. How can they create a legacy with their games beyond the Rendazook moment in the jet, where he jumps out the jet and then hits the RPG? You know what I'm saying? You can name Battlefield moments more than you can name Battlefield characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I 100% believe that, like, they have to be focus testing this. They have to be focus testing this, bro. You get like 10 people who like Call of Duty, 10 people who like Battlefield. Name me a memorable moment. I bet 5 out of those 10 people in that Call of Duty seat, they will name you like 5 campaign moments. They'll name you campaign moments off the bat. They'll be like, oh yeah, Price doing this, Ghost, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? No Russian, that whole entire blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? They'll go off that. And then you ask Battlefield people, they'll be scratching their head for a second like, yeah, the jet thing was crazy. The tornadoes, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they need to create that legacy of characters. I think that's the aim. That's what they're driving for. Let's see how they do.
1000%.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucking with myself today, nigga. I think I'm on fire. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm giving some niggas heat. Hold on, rate this shit 5 stars. Rate it 5 stars, man. Stop playing with us, man. All right, moving down. We had the Disney Marvel Showcase. That showed off a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. There was much I skipped past, so I'm gonna literally do a fast read of most of the stuff that we saw. There's one little tidbit that is kind of interesting, but you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. I'll run through it. There was a new Tron game entitled Tron Identity, which was a visual novel style puzzle solver. Made narrative choices that will affect the story. Kind of lost me there. Disney Illusion Island looked like a speedrunners type thing, but a co-op platformer that's 4-player, releasing in 2023. The Midnight Suns actually got a release date and a couple more bits of gameplay. Is dropping December 2nd alongside the Callisto Protocol. So that's going to be an interesting day in gaming. Again, of course, it's going to be what is it, RTS, an RTS game. So again, point click, make a decision. Might have
Turn-based.
Oh,
RTS
turn-based.
is real time.
Real time strategy.
Don't give me hope.
Thank you for the correction. Thank you for turn-based. Thank you. Marvel Snap card game, whatever. Gargoyles Remastered, which was hilarious for like 5 seconds. Avatar Reckoning, which is an MMORPG shooter for mobile, which looked kind of interesting in the open world. But it's whatever. But that's all the other news that happened. And let's just talk about that for a second. How do you feel about all that?
Okay, Midnight Suns, if it's on Game Pass, for sure playing it day one. If it's not, I am gonna play. I will play it the same way I will play Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 at some point. Still haven't bought it, but it's still on the list. It's not moving. Don't care about Marvel Snapshot, Gargoyles. When I saw Avatar MMORPG, I'm like, whoa, like the people with the bending, and then I was like, oh, blue people with guns. I think that kind of spits in the face of the entirety of the first movie where they were trying to move away from guns as Avatar people. But hey, fuck it. Yeah, don't really care much about it. The Tron thing, I actually just don't even like. I don't know why I love Tron. Like I love the Tron movie.
I love Tron, but they keep doing it wrong, bro. They keep doing him filthy.
But here's the thing: is like I just don't even know how you could do it right. I feel like they should just leave them as movies, to be honest. Like me personally, but hey, I don't know. Listen, like maybe they should expand more in that universe before we start trying to monetize it. But
yeah,
again, I like Tron Legacy. I think that I thought there was gonna be another. Decent. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought there was gonna be another part to that, but they were like, nah. And then but they keep coming out with games and stuff. All right.
Yeah, we need Tron back in Kingdom Hearts, bro. Bring Tron back.
Yeah, that was the only time I felt like I had fun with a game and Tron at the same time. Like that was the only time I was like, oh, this is good. Like this is what I wanted.
We need the space paranoids, baby. We need the space paranoids. Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
No, that's really about it. Everything else is kind of just
What? Disney Illusion Island didn't speak to you?
No, I played the new Disney game that came out before I played this one.
Nigga, I'm kidding. I'm about to say this shit straight mid. I don't know what this is.
It looks like Rayman, but it's not Rayman. So I don't
Rayman,
want it. Like
that's what Rayman. That's the one.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. We'll get that later, bro. But yeah, I was like, it looked like speedrunners. It looks like something else. Just how it's like zoomed out and stuff like that. Rayman was the one.
Rayman.
Correct. All right, but yeah, that's all the other stuff that happened. But at the end, we got the first little tease of the Captain America Black Panther game created by Amy Hennig's team at Skydance New Media. We got some details with that. It's going to be set in the World War II era, featuring a young Steve Rogers and T'Challa's grandfather, Azuri, as well as 2 more playable characters in Gabriel Jones, who is a part of the Howling Commandos, and Nanali, who is the mother of the Wakandan spy network. So we're going to have a lot of room to run in that lane of story. Again, it's going to be kind of that Uncharted, story-driven action adventure style. How are we feeling about this?
Like I gotta see gameplay. I don't know where we're going with this. Is it gonna be like I'm assuming third person story mode, like action adventure type thing? If it's made by the same people as Uncharted, it could be really fucking fun. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep my hopes up, but again, I haven't seen a good Captain America game till this day, or a good Black Panther, or a Black Panther game. So fingers crossed that this is good, because I don't think it's a bad idea, but it's also not something that I was necessarily like, oh man, I'm so sick of World War II in any gaming setting. So when they were like, yo, a Captain America game, I'm like, oh, sick. In World War II, I'm like, bro, yes. Sure.
All right.
I'll take it where I can.
That's fair. Me, I'm a little excited. I can't even lie. I need to see gameplay to get fully excited, but I'm a little excited. I think it's really interesting to see. You know, I believe I could be wrong. I think in the comics, like something like this actually happened though, where like Captain America actually met Azuri, and it was like like talking to each other and shit like that. They actually crossed paths and stuff, which is actually really cool. But the general like the mix up of this again, like Amy Hennig, of course, worked on the Uncharted series. I think in terms of the blockbusterness and the narrative, this could actually be a really like good adventurous tale, action packed tale. Because I mean, again, Uncharted's work speaks for itself in terms of being an action like a real big clinic in terms of you want the action you want the action sets, you want the action pieces, you want the those big moments. Uncharted can do that. You know what I'm saying? The Uncharted team can definitely write that in. They can definitely make that happen. So interested to see how that develops. Yeah, the characters though, she said all 4 of these characters are gonna be playable. Nanali, Cap, T'Challa, and Gabriel Jones. So I don't know how that's gonna kind of play. Is gonna be a co-op thing where we all pick one, or is it gonna be one person rotating behind characters? Gabriel Jones, can he use his gun or something like that? Like, so is it gonna be different styles of play in that same kind of a large play area? I'm interested to see how it plays out, man. Will it be dedicated missions? You know what I'm saying? Will it be dedicated missions where certain people are picked in that narrative? So I'm very interested to see how it plays out. It could go a lot of different ways, but I really think that this could be a good game, man. I'm not gonna lie. If you wanted a dependable action adventure game, I would say Amy Hennig is a good pick. I would say Amy Hennig is a good pick to tap this up and actually make this happen. So, and it seems like she's getting the right support behind it. You know what I'm saying? Digging into the lore of Marvel and stuff like that. It was like a 10-minute interview as well. You know what I'm saying, that they dropped right after the show. It was interesting to see, how far they wanted to dig in and like, who they wanted to pull. Apparently there isn't a lot of information in the comics on Denali. I personally, you know what I'm saying, I personally can't remember off the top of my head. So, they have a lot of room to work. So I'm interested to see how it develops, but more importantly, how the gameplay is going to be set up. So we'll wait and see. But I mean, I'll see. I got a side eye on it. I got my side eye on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, 100% though. That conference overall was garbanzo beans. That shit was straight. That was a waste of 28 minutes. I ain't gonna lie, 28 minutes. Jeez. Anyways, moving on to another showcase. We had the Ubisoft Forward presentation yesterday, and they had a good bit to show us, so let's run through some of what we saw. First and foremost, we had Brawlhalla Castlevania characters are coming in Simon, Belmont, and Alucard. They're going to be dropping on October 19th. We had a new look at Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope with the Wiggler Balls trailer, and the game will be receiving 3 DLC updates. One will actually include Rayman. You got a new Skull and Bones gameplay trailer, dev breakdown, and world context trailer. The Division Heartland, which is going to be a free-to-play experience in like a small middle American town, and you defending that. The Division Resurgence is going to be a mobile game that has a dark zone now. Rainbow Six Mobile's coming in closed beta fall 2022. I'm about to say there's the Mighty Quest sequel, a Valiant Heart sequel, and an AC mobile game exclusive to Netflix members, a live-action Netflix show for Assassin's Creed, Trackmania coming to consoles in early 2023, and some Just Dance AI for the brand new game coming out next year. So just to cover this quick news, anything you wanted to touch on from that?
Nobody cares about Brawlhalla. The new Mario Rabbids game officially got bumped off of my list of things that I'm excited for. Not excited for, like I'm excited for this game, but I'm not buying this game. I just don't have the money for it. There's too many games coming out. And it just got bumped off. The fact that they're throwing Rayman as DLC is like a spit in my face, so I'm even less likely to buy this game now. Division don't care about it. Division on mobile could care less about it. Rainbow Six needs to fix its cheater problem before we even have a conversation about playing that shit on my cell phone. Live action Assassin's Creed might actually be kind of cool. I'd like to see where this leads because honestly, I feel like they should just make it a TV show at this point and leave my console alone. Everything else is kind of just not really looking for it.
Hey man, listen, me personally, man, Just Dance UI, man, I think that's a very exciting update to me. I don't know, man, I'm trying to get moving. What about you?
I've never heard somebody playing Just Dance being like, man, I wish the UI was better. I've never heard. My aunt who plays it does not care.
I'm shocked and appalled that you would even say something like that, bro. Like, you don't think we care about the UI? You don't think just dancers care about the UI? I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I really don't. I really don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about that. Michael Jackson The Experience is a better game than that shit will ever be on everything. All right. But nah, all right. That's all the news we got for that. Yeah, for me, I really don't care about most of those. I'm gonna be honest. Brawlhalla, again, Brawlhalla's Brawlhalla. I'm probably not gonna play that game like for a long time. But shout out to Simon Belmont and Alucard. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Trailer actually looked pretty cool. The Rayman DLC might be interesting, but I'm not really super checking out for it. But if it's on sale, I might, come back around, double check for it. But there's too much stuff on the plate right now. The Division Heartland, I do not care about the Division anymore. It is what it is. I've really lost touch with that game. Sorry to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, King, you had to hear that stuff. I know you love the Division, boy, but you know what I'm saying? We got to keep moving. Division Resurgence, yeah, hell nah. Close app. Rainbow Six Mobile. I barely play Rainbow Six as it is on PC. I haven't touched that game in a long time. Live action Assassin's Creed Netflix show. I don't know how I feel about this. If the people that directed the movie are directing this, it's gonna be trash. But I really hope that nobody who was involved with that last project, including Michael Fassbender, you got better stuff to do, bro. Don't come back. Don't do this, bro. It's not you. If they're involved with this, it's gonna be bad. But if not, we could have something here. I think it would be nice. You could even do an anthology type series where you just tackle different assassins of different eras. That could be that's an easy way to do Assassin's Creed. You just highlight different things, and maybe you want to put a nice overlying arc of just somebody coming out from the animes or something like that. Literally do it like Assassin's Creed 1, but focus on multiple assassins. You know what I'm saying? And that could play into a nice story. That would be cool. The mobile game exclusives, I really don't care. Trackmania, the consoles, bro. Trackmania gives me like low-key nausea because of how fast it goes, and I've kind of been afraid of that game for a while, but shout out to them. Just Dance UI, stop disrespecting it. And let's move to the biggest bit of news that came from it, which has a lot of little tidbits to it. Assassin's Creed. They gave a whole section to Assassin's Creed, so we're gonna go through it one by one. First and foremost, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The last expansion is gonna be coming soon in the next few months. The last chapter set to release in 2022. How do you feel about that?
Sure. Like, no, like, I don't, like, sure, I guess, like, whatever. I didn't even know we were still making stuff for Valhalla, but go off.
Hey, I don't know, man. I'll when I'm old and like I retired, I'll go play Valhalla so I know what to spend my last 150,000 hours of my life doing. You know what I'm saying? Just playing that game start to finish. I think that should round out a good 11 years worth of gameplay. So, I'll be sure to experience the end of my life with that. Next up, we had Assassin's Creed Mirage, which finally, showed up. We talked a little bit about it, I think a week or two ago, and most of the details are holding true. You're going to be able to play as young Basim, a character from Assassin's Creed Valhalla before the events of Valhalla. It takes place in Baghdad, narrative-driven, of course, and it's going back to the roots of the series, it seems. Apparently, there's no RPG elements, and focuses on stealth and assassinations. There's going to be historical characters that are going to be a part of the game as well. People said that, people and, again, just insiders from Assassin's Creed and the Ubisoft teams said it was an homage to Assassin's Creed 1. It's going to be about roughly 15 to 20 hours in main storyline. It's going to be about $50 in price, a small, more condensed story, kind of just, encapsulating that story about young Basim. How do you feel about Mirage?
$50 price tag is smart. Shorter things is smart. It was funny. I was talking to my boy the other day about why I wasn't a big fan of Far Cry 6. I was just like, this game is cool. He's like, this game is cool. Like, it's okay gameplay. But I just feel like the open world is way too big. And I was like, what's crazy is that, like, that's a valid criticism that I don't hear said too often. It's like, sometimes games are just too big for no reason. Like, it's just bloated. So 15 to 20 hours, yeah, man. Like sign me up. I'm not saying I'm going to buy this game. Let's not go crazy. But sign me up for a good 20-hour experience for, like, less money than a $60 game. We don't need all the extra. I found the feathers of my brother who he wrote in his journal so that it'll unlock some notes that I'm not going to read. Like, I don't fucking care. This looks interesting. I'm liking that they're going back into the regular where they got their start from. I would love to see how this generation of gamers takes to that, though.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how far Assassin's Creed has come. Again, how far they deviated from Assassin's Creed 1. And again, like, I just gotta just double check something. But again, from where we began, I remember picking this up like a used PS3 game. I like just played Assassin's Creed 1 for a little bit. I couldn't pass the first like little section where you had to like, you were in the dungeon and stuff like that. You had to kind of maneuver and shit like that. I was having the roughest time. But that experience, like again, for good 15 to 20 hours, again, just really tight. You're walking through it again, the streets. Like it was such a interesting game. It was such a different game, say at that time, to go back to the roots of this after a whole wave of RPG elements, expansive 1,000 million hour snake way long ass storyline, with all the different little tidbits of the world. As crazy as that sounds to scale, I feel like it's now about quality rather than quantity, man. I know in days past people want, give me a game, give me how much of it, give me as much of it as you possibly can, because we wanted to get a bang for our buck in terms of value. But now it's like, okay, now you guys have taken that principle to an overboard where it's like, we can't play anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, I'm saying, for some people, maybe they want that because they're only focused on a singular game. But like, if you're putting 1,000 hours and you're really scratching the surface of a game, that's like, damn, bro, it might be a little bit overboard. So I think it's really high time for more condensed experiences like this, 15, 20, 25 hours, to come back and really have a place in, the lineup of games coming out in the next few years. It really makes sense to me, to just kind of scale it back, especially if you're going to pay homage to Assassin's Creed 1, especially if you're going to be, again, in a smaller, state. And the funny thing about this, I'm pretty sure we said it was going to be, or we thought it was rumored to be DLC for Valhalla. So I'm assuming it's going to be spun off into its own game, which it is now. So I'm assuming that's where the idea came from. But offering these experiences like this, I feel like that's where they're trying to take Assassin's Creed. And we'll definitely have some more, thoughts about that in a second. But I'm in. I'm low key in. I want to see what they do. I miss Assassin's Creed. I'm going to be honest with you. I really do. So I'm interested to see how this might pan out.
I'll be in when I see it in person. I'm still very much. I was never really hooked on Assassin's Creed, so call me a hater, but I was just like, it was like it wasn't anything. 2 was a good game, I will say that, but everything else was like, it's alright. So if it blows people away, then I'll definitely try it out.
Yeah, this nigga definitely a hater. But anyway.
I definitely am.
All right, moving down to Assassin's Creed Jade, which is basically taking place in ancient China around 215 BCE. It's going to have a character creator, so you can choose your own assassin in that land. It's going to be coming to mobile platforms. I believe this is a collaboration with Tencent as well. Open world, mobile-based, Assassin's Creed experience in ancient China. How you feel about it?
You said mobile, right?
Yes.
I don't care.
Oh, there it is.
Like, cool. Hey, for the mobile, because there are mobile gamers, I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah.
Not me whatsoever. I don't want to take history on the go.
This is my thing. I like where this is heading, and again, it's a Tencent collaboration, so they have domain. It's like damn near a stronghold over the mobile market. So I like that they're catering to the mobile market and doing their thing. I like that, and again, more stronger. I would have never thought to see a full-fledged Assassin's Creed project in a mobile setting. Like, mobile game has gotten so powerful over the past 5-6 years that you can put a full-fledged Assassin's Creed game in there and do what you do. So it'd be interesting to see. Me personally, I know I'm a nerd in a sense of I like different historical context. So I would love to see this in like different. I know I might not be able to play this on my phone all the time. I might have to go check it out. You know what I'm saying? But I would have loved for this to be on a console or on a PC or something like that. Maybe might have to route this joint to my allegedly. I don't know if that's legal. We're gonna have to check the definition and then get back to you. But I would say, I think this is actually a good move. But again, until I can find a way to possibly get it on a PC, I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah. All right. Moving down to Assassin's Creed Kxngviii, which is how it was pronounced during the presentation. Ubisoft Montreal is now at work on a flagship title, a brand new one, codenamed Kxngviii, which seems to be collaborating with Clint Hocking, who worked on Splinter Cell and Watch Dogs Legion. It may have taken some hints from the smaller trailer. Some people have been snooping around it. I think they kind of got the tease from the devs during the presentation. Like, yeah, check out what you can see. So basically, they figured out that Kxngviii translates to witch in German. And basically the sounds of dogs in that teaser, it suggests that the setting is during a witch hunt in a Germanic area, and which is specifically one of the largest witch hunts in the 1700s. That was the Würzburg witch trials, happening in Germany. And this could suggest a very, very different direction in terms of the series. Many speculating it could be a full horror game or a VR experience. So, I mean, how do you feel about those potential shifts for Assassin's Creed?
That's gonna be an Assassin's Creed game. Like, why? You know, you could have been like, yo, a horror game set in this era, and I'm like, oh, sick. Why does it gotta be Assassin's Creed? I mean, like, this looks cool. Like, it's a good concept. I don't really see a lot of witch hunt type stuff on my TL at all, like, or even in my radar. So, like, I think it's a really interesting area to explore because of how dark that history is. Yeah. I swear to God, if this is associated with Assassin's Creed, I'm just gonna start thinking you're throwing anything on Assassin's Creed. Like, why don't we have an Assassin's Creed go-karting game yet? Might as well at this point. Like, why? Like, what's stopping us? Like, Jesus Christ, VR experience,
Assassin Speed coming soon.
It writes itself. Like, and Rayman DLC character. Like, that's all you need to do with this fucking.
Gotta tack it on, baby. Gotta tack it on, man.
Listen, you gotta keep the fans happy. So, like, I think this game is gonna be. I'd give this game, off of just the strength of the concept, a B. If you throw Assassin's Creed on it, it is a C-. Your move, Ubisoft. Go crazy.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. But yeah, I again, for the historical context, again, I feel like most of American history, or at least what we're taught in schools, we only get the Salem witch trials in one class. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the only thought we hear witch trials at all. So hearing about, you know, witch trials that occurred in different eras in different places, that's definitely 100% going to be interesting to see. If it's a horror experience, you know, I'm kind of shaky with horrors and shit like that. I don't know how it would even play to an Assassin's Creed experience. If it's VR, I'm not playing, because I will actually, I will hurl myself through a window trying to play this shit and run away and shit. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do that. So if it's gonna be like a regular horror experience, I mean, I'll give it a shot, but I'm just interested to see how it would actually play out. But very, very interesting concept. Just not sure how it's gonna mesh with the Assassin's Creed brand.
Yeah.
All right, moving down to Assassin's Creed Infinity. We finally have the knowledge of what this thing even is, and it's not a game, but it's basically a kind of like a hub world or a hub service that has all of the games together in one location. All Assassin's Creed experiences are going to be in this place. And alongside that news, they kind of dropped a little bit of a bomb that they are exploring options to bring back standalone multiplayer experiences within Assassin's Creed Infinity. So it's going to be kind of again, just a hub overworld where you can access all these different Assassin's Creed games and little narrative experiences, stuff like that, and gameplay experiences. How do you feel about this?
I don't know. I don't even really know what this is. Like, I don't like, I want to say it's bad, but I don't even really understand what's going on here. Like, is it just a launcher for Assassin's Creed games? Either
it's a launcher, or the example I literally just thought of, like, okay, remember how Pop Tropical, before you walked into a world and they had all the different worlds and shit like that, like one little map, and you jumped into them? Yeah.
Okay, I get that, but here's my question. Is it a service? Is it a subscription? Is it one full big ass game? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, that's the biggest issue. If it's a subscription service, the ball's on Ubisoft. If it's a big ass game, like, what are we talking? Like $100, $200? Like, how much is this game gonna cost for all the Assassin's Creed games and the DLCs? And you can just, like, the concept is cool. Maybe for like a collector's edition for Assassin's Creed, I get it. Like, you get all the games. I just don't know. I gotta see what this plays out as. I need to see some dollar amounts. I need to see. I feel like it's a subscription service. That's what my heart is telling me, that it's gonna be a subscription service. And you get to play all the Assassin's Creed games, and then you get to just, like, they'll update the multiplayer. Like, but I just don't know if anybody's gonna pay for that monthly. You know, so it could just be like a Halo collection where they're like, yo, $100 and you get all the old Assassin's Creed games, and I'll be like, that makes more sense. So I'm gonna have to wait on this, but I think it's gonna suck. I'm gonna put that down.
I don't even want to talk about that part. I just want to talk about the multiplayer, motherfucker. If y'all niggas bring it back, yo, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all might be doing something. Y'all might be on something with that multiplayer coming back, bro. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer was one of the funnest experiences of my life. I was ass for like half of my lifetime playing that game, but when I picked it up, it was fire, bro. It was actually fantastic. Like, so good. It's so good. I loved it. I miss it very, very much. So bringing it back in some capacity. I don't know how. I don't know what multiplayer experience you guys would try and change or shift. But if you bring it back, at least in the foundation that Brotherhood built, I wouldn't be mad at it. I would not be mad at it whatsoever. But yeah, as for the hub system and stuff, I might have to agree with Wen. That shit might be ass. But yeah, we gonna slide on to the next one out here because Infinity, I don't know if they're gonna be on. We'll figure it out. But Assassin's Creed Red, they have finally announced their Assassin's Creed title in Japan, being billed as the brand new next flagship AC title after Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's going to be occurring, of course, in feudal Japan. Going to be developed by Ubisoft Quebec, the Odyssey team, and you'll be playing as a shinobi in this experience. So, I mean, they finally announced Assassin's Creed Japan. They finally did it. What's going on?
That game should have came out right after Assassin's Creed Origins, but it didn't, so it's late. As per usual, I don't care. I have Ghost of Tsushima, and I might have Ghost of Tsushima 2 before I even see this. So, sure, I guess.
Bro,
when it comes out, if Sekiro 2 isn't out, then maybe no. I'm not gonna give it. I'm not giving it a chance.
Dog, I don't. Okay, listen. If they keep it to like a Mirage level experience, if they keep it non-RPG element and stuff like that, or at least not even just non-RPG element. I can keep RPG element. Just keep the story condensed. Don't make it like 100,000 million hours, bro. Because I'm really going to like zone out. I'm actually going to zone out and play something else. But I will say this: it would be hilarious if they announced the release date for this game, right? And then in the same time frame, Ghost of Tsushima 2 has its first trailer. That shit would be fucking comedy. That would be comedy. Yep. Because they waited that long to go release this game that everybody said you should do for years, and they again complain and campaign, and y'all wouldn't do it until now. And as soon as y'all start showing gameplay, you see the symbol of Ghost of Tsushima or Jin Sakai's face, and then they're just like, yeah, y'all good, bro. It's gonna be like Toy Story. He gonna drop Woody, bro. He gonna drop. I don't want to play with you no more, bro. I don't want to play with you no more.
Assassin's Creed, they just took too long. They just take too long with everything. They're slow to the draw.
I would almost bet that happens, bro. I would almost bet $1 that that's gonna happen at some point. Like, especially in this next 2-year span, literally, they are going to drop a gameplay trailer or one trailer, and then literally in the same month, maybe E3 month or a what's it called? Game Award season. Yes, thank you. Game Award season. They're gonna Ghost of Tsushima's gonna drop a trailer. Sucker Punch is gonna drop a trailer. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, well, we're fucked, aren't we? Yeah.
They don't even need a trailer. They just need to show.
Just show the logo. Fact, just show the logo, my guy, and it's a wrap. They're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you waited years just for another company to do a game in a setting that they wanted y'all to do. They did it better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro. That's tough. It doesn't
even have to be Ghost of Tsushima. It could just be Sekiro 2, and it's wrapped already.
If it's Sekiro 2, people are 100, especially after Elden Ring got received. Oh yeah, nah. That's probably potentially even worse. That's potentially even worse. I ain't gonna lie. Just because people loved Elden Ring so much, that could be a double whammy on whatever they was doing. That'd be crazy if both of them got released in the same way or announced in a relative like 6-month period. That would be funny. But me personally, my inner Assassin's Creed child is very happy. Because Assassin's Creed Red is coming. I'm definitely gonna try it. I actually am definitely gonna try it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here bullshitting. I actually will try it. But I'm just let you know, if it's not better than Ghost of Tsushima, you will hear it. You will know. You will understand that it's not better than Ghost of Tsushima. I was screaming from the rooftops, bro. Yo, if y'all waited years to drop a worse game than Ghost of Tsushima, which is a very high bar, you guys got a lot of work to do. It's gonna be jokes.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, that's pretty much all we had from the Assassin's Creed show. Well, not Assassin's Creed show. Well, basically was the Assassin's Creed show. But the Ubisoft Forward conference. I mean, just overall rating real quick out of you know what I'm saying, letter grade.
D, no Rayman.
Man said no Rayman. I'm going to say C-. Matter of fact, D+. D+. You wanna know why?
Why?
Give me an update on Splinter Cell. Give me an update on Prince of Persia. What's happening? What is happening? You said all this, and where are they? I know that you just announced Splinter Cell, but I don't care. I don't care about none of that, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. Give me one of their faces from the studio and tell me what's happening, bro. Tell me, are y'all in pre-production? You know what I'm saying? Are y'all hiring people? Y'all bringing back characters? What's happening? I
The
personally think we should have an update for a series that's, I think been really wanted for that long. What's the other game too? Beyond Good and Evil. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Where is that? Where is that at? You know what I'm saying? I kind of want an update on those. That's just me.
the problem that Ubisoft has is that it keeps betting all of its chips on it bets all its chips on Assassin's Creed, lets Rainbow Six Siege carry a majority of the weight, and then every game that people actually enjoy, things like, for example, For Honor, my friend was playing it the other day, and I was like, oh man, I forgot about that game, and I was this close to re-downloading that game because it wasn't bad. Like these games that like people really actually want. Yeah. Like these games that people want. They have, what's crazy? They still have DLC. Like they have pirates and they have Egyptians now. Like there's, it's going crazy over there, but we don't know anything about it because they don't push this. They push Assassin's Creed and these.
There was a trailer for a new Dagger on the pre-show 20 minutes before the show even started, so it didn't even make the main show.
And like we don't even like, and what do we get? We get a shit ton of Assassin's Creed that nobody's buying, and like nothing. And we get like things like Rayman that were critically acclaimed, amazing games. We don't see that anymore. We don't see any. It's just like you guys are really betting. I think you guys are just making games for yourselves at this point, and that's why you guys will be funding yourselves, because I'm not buying an Assassin's Creed subscription because I don't care about this many Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, I hear it. If they're placing all their bargaining chips on Assassin's Creed, I feel like that's not the best strategy, bro. You gotta, as much as I love Assassin's Creed, or overall throughout my gaming life. Yeah, you guys have so much more in the locker that I feel like, again, over the years, you haven't shown enough love to. And that's what's moved you in a certain position where you have to rely on it. You have to rely on Assassin's Creed now. And it's like, damn, I got to meet these sales things every day. You know what I'm saying? Tencent just invested another whole $300 million in your company and stuff like that. Like y'all just still focus on Assassin's Creed. You have so much IP that you can work with and create something dope that people actually really take to. But I don't, just moving in the same place.
Diversify your bonds.
Diversify your bonds, man. Protect your goddamn neck. All right, man. On to the next big presentation. Pretty much I would say the biggest presentation, but for a lot of different reasons. We had the MCU Star Wars showcase. There was actually so much news from D23 that I will not be covering some of it on purpose because it was a lot of stuff and we will be here all day. But there were some of the biggest picks from each of the main shows on the MCU and Star Wars side that we wanted to at least highlight and talk about real quick. Starting on the Lucasfilm side, we had Tales of the Jedi, which is going to be a 6-episode short series focusing on the Jedis, of course, with 3 episodes locking in on Ahsoka Tano and other episodes involving Count Dooku, Mace Windu, and more, dropping on October 26th. How you feel about that?
Interested. I need to catch up on Star Wars. I know it will happen very soon. I just really, really, really need to find time to get up there. Like I just don't have the time for it right now. But believe you me, once I finish The Boys, I will definitely be close to. I'll definitely start one of these shows.
That's a fair thing to wait on. I'm about to say I didn't have it in the notes, but The Bad Batch also has a second season coming and has like a 2-episode premiere. I think either next month or something like that. Bad Batch is freaking ridiculous. I love Bad Batch, but
I need to make a budget before I because that's the thing is like I want to get the service because there's a lot of shows on there that I want to watch and I'm for paying for it. I just need to know how much money I have before I start adding another subscription.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. I'm saying like you gotta think of some reasons and stuff like that, but it's cool. But yeah, Tales of the Jedi, I cannot wait for this right here. If you saw the trailer, you saw like again a lot of different looks at different episodes. A lot of it's gonna be focusing on Ahsoka, which is beautiful. She's gonna have a fight with an Inquisitor, and that Inquisitor looked mad menacing. It looked crazy stuff. Count Dooku episodes, I cannot wait to see. I actually cannot wait to see those Count Dooku episodes, bro. Like again, it showed a younger Count. Again, just dealing with certain stuff. I guess there was like some story beats of him talking about like something's coming. Like the rest of the Jedi don't see it. And possibly switch to the dark side and stuff. Like, it's some real heavy stuff. And more Mace Windu, baby. More Mace Windu. That's all I need in my life, dog. I'm good. Tales of the Jedi is going to be another banger short series from them. I'm already calling it now. It's going to be fantastic. Next up, we got Mando Season 3 coming in 2023. Again, just got more details on that. How he's gonna go back to Mandalore, deal with Bo-Katan. Again, just got some more of the different characters. The adorable Grogu, himself looking as adorable as ever. Yeah, how'd you feel about the first look at Mando season 3?
It looks interesting. I watched it. It's funny because I do this. It's really bad. I actually don't do this for many TV shows, but I watched the trailer for that, even though I haven't watched season 2, because I really like the franchise. But again, I'm just like there's so much Star Wars to consume, and I'm just like, the damage that Episode 9 did to me is still not fixed.
Bro, just you just gotta keep going, bro. You just gotta keep pushing past it, bro. I'm telling you, it gets better. It gets better. It gets oh my bro. You need to just watch Obi-Wan as a palate cleanser, bro. That's 6 episodes. You need to watch as a palate cleanser. I'm telling you, and that's the last Skywalker thing you need to see. It's the last Skywalker thing you probably need to see. I'm telling you.
Just hate all of it now. It's all tainted. I definitely will though. Like I've said it multiple times, and I do mean it. I will get back into it. It's literally the price wall of Disney Plus right now. Because I used to have an account, and then I stopped. But we'll see. We'll see.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, Mando looking good. You already know what I want. I think they moved it back because it was supposed to drop this fall, I think, or maybe it was supposed to drop next year. No. Actually, no. The original timeline was it was supposed to drop this December or this holiday season. Because what's the name came out earlier. Book of Boba Fett. Thank you. Book of Boba Fett came out earlier this year or late last year or something like that. I thought it was gonna be on schedule, but it got pushed back a little bit. So it is what it is. Moving down to the last bit of that part from Lucasfilm, we got a couple of story beats, no footage shown off to the public, but we got some story beats and details about the live action Ahsoka show. And Jon Favreau is basically kind of bigging it up and saying, yo, this is Dave Filoni's magnum opus. It's going to be a really, really great show. And of course, we got some news as well that Iman Esfandi will play Ezra Bridger in Ahsoka. So he's going to be coming back into the show. Again, there's going to be a lot of different storylines and things weaving back into it. People have been, again, hyping it up, saying it's going to be a really big one. Just how do you feel about some of the information, just the general, hype train about Ahsoka going into, what we're going into next?
I'm excited because I feel like there's just a lot of love going into that show. I need to catch up before that show comes out because I know that like every time I hear anything about it, so many people are very excited. So many people are working on it. I honestly can't wait.
Oh, this is going to be crack. This is going to be actual crack. I mean, they were talking about like the lightsaber battles as well. They're going to be, they're going to be frequent. They're going to be, epic. They're going to be like there. They're not going to be like, they're not going to be loose with it. So
yeah,
I'm ready for just all the action and all the stuff and just, the plot, bro. Is she gonna find Ezra, man? She has to find this man. She has to find. Listen, go watch the Clone Wars. Go watch what you need to. Go watch Star Wars Rebels. Go watch what you need to do. Go do it. Everything Dave Filoni has touched in Star Wars, you need to go watch it. Honestly, because it will make much more sense if you do that. I'm not faulting you if you don't, but if you do, this man is speaking to your soul. This man is literally speaking to your soul. I'm behind. I need to catch up on Bad Batch and all stuff like that. But I'm telling you, if you like at least get a hint of the story of all that stuff and see where everything was going, and then watch what's coming up, you're gonna be like, yo, Dave Filoni's a madman, bro. I think we said this at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When we heard more word about Dave Filoni again, just really taking the reins and stuff like that. I think I was talking to my friends before when Dave Filoni just took the role with Jon Favreau. We were like, yo, if there's anybody that could really take Star Wars to a next level and understand what it means to be in the Star Wars universe, it's Dave Filoni. And he's been proving that ever since he stepped onto the scene with Mando. You know what I'm saying? So I have full faith. Like I said before, I have full faith in where the Star Wars franchise is going.
Yeah, I think it's in a way healthier state. I've just been PTSD'd out of Star Wars, but I'll get over it. I will get over it.
This man is like, oh my gosh, what's that one show where it's like the chick had she had an asparagus on a plate and she couldn't eat it because she was afraid of it or something like that. She's like a fear. I don't know what it was, but they had a rational fear of an asparagus. We just gotta bring in the room. Or that one clip on Twitter, this chick was afraid of olives, and some chick ran out with a whole bottle of olives and shit. I was like, yo, bro, that's honestly OD. But the fact that you're afraid of olives, I need to know where that came from, bro, because that's insane. But we need to doctor you in that way. Just put it right in front of you.
The Twitter video of the girl who's like afraid of Michael Jackson at the club.
Oh yeah,
the first name Michael Jackson.
And she was
kind of how I feel about Star Wars.
She was panicking. Yo, she was dead ass panicking. Yo. That's gonna be the funniest clip ever, bro. You like 25. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into that, bro. I'm not gonna get into that. Anyways, moving on to the MCU side of the house. Got a couple of updates from a lot of different shows. We're going to focus on a few here. Starting with an update on Ant-Man Quantumania. There was no trailer shown publicly, but some details from it have slipped out, including just showing a bit of how Ant-Man and the Wasp will deal directly with Kang in Quantumania. Basically, the synopsis of the plot and what we saw was Kang has basically kidnapped Cassie Lang and has forced Scott to do a heist for him. So you're gonna be dealing directly with a Kang variant, and he's on some smoke. So I'm very interested to see how this pans out. How do you feel about what we're hearing from Ant-Man Quantumania?
It seems more interesting than the last Ant-Man movie, which I'm not saying the last Ant-Man movie wasn't good. It wasn't great, but it was terrible. But it's more, I feel like it kind of holds more weight. Like when I went into Ant-Man and the Wasp, when I went to watch it with my girlfriend, I was kind of just like, why am I watching this right now? Outside of the fact that it's just an MCU movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually more excited for this one because I feel like it kind of connects more to the world. And Ant-Man and the Wasp did connect well into the MCU. Like it was very important. But like going into it before, I was just like, whatever. Like I know people who missed that movie because they were just like, I don't really care about Ant-Man like that. But I'm actually excited to see this because you'll get a glimpse of what's to come, so to speak.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm very interested. Again, we've heard word that this is gonna really pick up. Was it Phase 5? I think Phase 5 in terms of movies, this is gonna be the real big kickoff point for it. So Kang is coming out in full force. I cannot wait to see how this version, like kind of Kang the Conqueror before he's like super conqueror, like an evil variant, a real like tough nigga variant. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't wait to see how Jonathan Majors delivers that performance. Again, just a shift between that and He Who Remains in the Loki series. Just though, again, I think what what's it called, Paul Rudd was explaining, just like, I mean, he's trying to explain is like, I feel like the anime movies they've been all, again, enjoyable. They've been pretty funny and stuff like that. I feel like now with the weight of you have a big bad of an entire phase right in front of you, I feel like it's gonna add a level of seriousness and a level of dynamic where it helps boost other things around it, because I feel like Kang's not gonna fuck around. King is not gonna fuck around, bro. And I think it's gonna add a little bit more of the seriousness of the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would make again, Paul, like the comedic side of Ant-Man, the comedic side of those movies and the style hit even more, because you have like, you have this universe ending motherfucker right here, bro. He's not playing a single game. And then, you know what I'm saying, you have Ant-Man and the Wasp on that side kind of delivering how they deliver. So I think it'll actually be a really good movie. And again, I can't wait to see how everything operates and goes down.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. All right, moving down, we had a Halloween TV special of Werewolf by Night, actually being directed by Michael Giacchino, who is, of course, notable movie composer. It's following the story of a group of hunters being assembled to kill a monster, but the monster is among that group itself. Going to be releasing on October 7th on Disney+. How do you feel about what you saw from Werewolf by Night?
That looks cool.
Yeah. It looked pretty cool. It looked pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
I'm not bad with it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, again, just overall how it performs, because I mean, I fuck with Michael Giacchino. He's literally one of my favorite movie composers of all time. Like he's probably slipped into my top 3 right now. I think I definitely in my top 3. I lied. So I honestly like seeing directorial. I think I saw on his credits he did a couple of things. He did a Star Trek short, I believe. And then I think it was one thing before it, but this is like kind of his big, I guess, biggest project to date. So I'm interested how it goes, man. It looks real, it looks real gory, real, again, the black and white text kind of go classic horror and stuff like that. I'm very interested to see how it pans out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't usually fuck with horror shit like that, but I'm interested to see how this one progresses. 100%. All right, moving forward, we got Secret Invasion, and I've been waiting on this trailer. So again, just to give a synopsis of what we saw. It's following the story of Nick Fury and Talos investigating the secret society of Skrulls on Earth. It's going to be really heavy, espionage based, a lot of that tone. Showed off a lot of different cameos of new characters, like Emilia Clarke's character. I believe there's another character off the top of my head I couldn't remember, but of course familiar faces in Rhodey, Maria Hill, Everett Ross from Black Panther. They're all going to be involved. It's going to be dropping 2023 on Disney+. How did you feel about that trailer for Secret Invasion?
It looked interesting. I like Nick Fury coming back to, reprise his role. He does a really good job as Nick Fury. That's a Nick Fury playing Nick Fury. Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury. Yeah, exactly. Like there's only really one person now at this point that we all know.
Facts.
I think it's gonna be a good show. I'm actually interested in watching this because it is more focused on like people as opposed to like superhuman people. I mean like scrolls, yes, but like not
Yeah, but
superheroes. It's just
this is ground
agents.
level type stuff.
Yeah. So like I am excited to see that. And I will be tapping into that. Like that does look interesting to me.
I'm gonna call it right now. This probably might be one of the best MCU shows to date when it comes out. I'm not gonna lie. I get the vibe of this is gonna be way deeper than we think. I think it's gonna be I think it's because again it deviates in tone. It looks really serious pretty much throughout. It looks pretty like heavily involved, and it's gonna touch so many different aspects of the MCU as we know it in terms of the ground level, in terms of how many governments they're involved in. You know what I'm saying? Like where are these scrolls like all hiding out now? You're dealing with James Rhodes, and he's involved with the U.S. government now. You know what I'm saying? Like heavily and stuff. So who knows who's among them and stuff like that. There's that. There's again the dude from Black Panther. Again, what's it called? Martin Freeman's role. Everett Ross. Maria Hill again just comes back, and it just feels eerie, bro. It just feels like it feels like this tense ass story that we don't know enough about, and that's what I like about it, bro. I just get the feeling in my gut like this is gonna be a really heavily just impactful show, and it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. I think it's gonna be a high marking for an MCU show.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
100. And lastly, the big piece of news that we got revealed that was concrete. We got the Thunderbolts cast and team revealed to us. So going through the list, we have the Winter Soldier, of course, Sebastian Stan, Yelena Belova, which is Florence Pugh, the Red Guardian, David Harbour, Ghost, from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hannah John Kamen, Taskmaster, damn my words, Taskmaster, and U.S. Agent, followed by Contessa Valentina de la Fontaine. So I mean, of course, that's gonna be the full cast. Interesting. I did not see a Baron Zemo a part of that cast, but how'd you feel about the final linking of the Thunderbolts?
It looks good. I don't really know too much about the Thunderbolts, so like I kind of was like, okay, cool. Sebastian Stan's coming back. I do like Taskmaster, like the character. I'm just gonna wait for it to come out, just because I don't really know too much. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who's gonna be opposite of them. You know what I'm saying, in terms of what they might have to like chase after and stuff like that. Again, they're like kind of for hired. I don't know what, or like, not like a Suicide Squad variant, but like they do some dirty jobs. They be doing some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see who they approach and who they get into. Kind of surprised to not see Baron Zemo in there. Maybe he just off is doing his own thing. I believe Abomination was in there at one point. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a Ross because unfortunately I believe William Hurt passed away, and so I don't think they're gonna do a Jim Ross character or General Ross character. So interesting to see how it might come out. I still missing a little bit of details here and there, but yeah, no, I'm still interested, man. I think it's gonna be a fun movie. I think it's gonna be actually a pretty fun movie that people like. Underrated character, Red Guardian. Red Guardian's gonna be hilarious as he was in Black Widow. Honestly, I rate that movie a lot higher because of Florence Pugh and Red Guardian David Harbour, bro. Like they were good in that movie. So interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I definitely got to tap into Black Widow. I definitely skipped that one.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, yo, this shit gonna be ass, bro. But I watched it and I was like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. Actually, it was actually decent. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it a stack. It was actually pretty decent. I know, of course, with the stakes of it. Okay, who cares? It's not Thor. It's not blah 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 because people aren't gonna care as much. But it felt like a really good movie to me. It felt like a really good movie to me. So yeah. All right, that's pretty much it for the MCU Star Wars side of the house. I believe there was a couple other stories. I think there was. Oh yeah, there was that one other tidbit about I don't know if you remember the Incredible Hulk from 2008, but remember that one scene where like the Hulk went to a lab, or like Bruce Banner went to a lab, he tried to turn himself back in, and then he knocked that one dude over in the lab chair.
Yeah. And
like his brain started to change and stuff like that. So yeah, remember how he was supposed to be the character called the Leader, and then they're actually bringing him back. They're bringing that same guy back to actually be the leader in an MC movie. They're gonna make him. I believe it's a Captain America: New World Order. They're gonna make him the leader. They're gonna make him the big bad. So it was interesting to see they're actually still acting on the 2008 movie. They're actually making some of those dead storylines kind of come back to life. So that was cool to see.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was that was an interesting point. But sliding on to the rest of the news for the week here. we've heard some word, interesting story, from COD 2024. Now, most likely there will be no COD in 2023, but COD 2024's title is set to be in the era of the Iraqi war in the 2000s, covering Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. Now, based on the schedule, Treyarch would be set to take on this project, and this would be their first dip into a current day Call of Duty experience. Only done, they've only done past and future settings. So, I mean, this could get really contentious, bro. How you feel about this?
I don't think Call of Duty should touch this. But what do I know? I guess like I don't know. This is a little too recent to be turned into like. How do I say this? I mean, like all of Call of Duty, like paints history in a specific way. And honestly, it's the way a lot of people will future see this like event that happened. So like when I see like Call of Duty touching like like World War II, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but basically, like I don't think they have the depth to really like talk about the Iraq War in a light that is non-propaganda-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna go about this. I don't think this is a good idea. We will see because we cannot stop them from doing what they want at this point, and the fans are gonna buy it regardless.
Yeah. Now, I am very anti. Let's guys. Let's not do this, guys. We can skip this one. We could probably go to 2095 or something like that. Do some kind of near future, not near future type stuff or whatever. But listen, they're gonna do what they do, and it's interesting that the studio that it might lie on is Treyarch to possibly lead the charge. Again, we've seen Treyarch do real like mind-bending stuff with their campaigns and such. So they could take a twist where they're not necessarily covering the entirety of the war itself, or they could be covering a specific narrative, but a psychological play within that narrative. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Treyarch, they could go that route. That's been their usual play, you know what I'm saying, with the games that they've released. So wondering how that could play a factor in what they choose to, I guess, omit, and then what they choose to focus on. It could be a side little piece of, but not the entirety of how the war progressed. It could be, a specific instance of this one specific team did this one specific mission, or they did a string of missions across a certain narrative and stuff like that, but it's not covering the entirety of the Iraqi war. Like Black Ops Cold War, it did something kind of specific, but it didn't, it didn't tell about the entire push of the narrative. But I will say this as well. Call of Duty, of course, it's never been one to shy away from historical context. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, or at least addressing certain things or shock value moments, so to speak. Do you remember how crazy No Russian was in the news, bro? When that time period when it came out, people was really up in arms, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, that's crazy. Yeah. In MW3, when that whole nuke went off, people was mad at that. In the campaign, when the nuke went off in France, they was mad at that. Again, Call of Duty in the headlines again was something controversial. What was it called? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, man. Oh, the Black Ops campaign, the Bay of Pigs. They covered Castro. They covered Castro and stuff like that. And I think that was a controversial thing as well. Just them covering the events of, the Bay of Pigs incident, blah blah blah. This is not unfamiliar territory to them. This is not unfamiliar territory. In the Modern Warfare campaign, they literally just they had a mission where you were literally a child in the Middle East and you had to kill somebody. You had to sneak around and go kill somebody and stuff in war. They aren't unfamiliar to the stance of controversy or a controversial moment or a controversial setting. So them taking this thing is not unexpected to me. But I feel like there's certain things that definitely, play a part in, I would say, Western sensitivity that may need to be addressed carefully. You know what I'm saying? Either you create a specific narrative that deals with characters, but, more so the characters than the actual progression of war, or, you have to make some type of alternate thing happen, because I already know it's going to get a lot of people looking at you, bro. It will be most likely canceled in Australia if it gets to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I am very intrigued to see what happens with this, because I feel like if this is going to be what they're set on, which most likely will be it, I am very interested to see how it might progress. If that multiplayer's ass, though, that's a double whammy.
Yeah, No, for sure.
That's crazy.
It's a weird place to be in. They're gonna do what they're gonna do when it comes down to it. But that's why a lot of people don't like Call of Duty to begin with.
Yeah, Pharisees. Oh man, fingers crossed for that one. And then for the last news piece of the day, so there seems to be a little bit of an internal, I guess, tug of war on the Fable front. Actually, it's the first time I heard a little bit of Fable news in a while. So it was reported this week on IGN that Xbox exec Matt Booty wanted to showcase Fable every time he's seen a new internal snippet of it. But the team at Playground Games were adamant that they wanted to show the game when it was ready. Now, it seemed pretty lighthearted in the exchange, but the Fable team seems to be taking their time to not show their hand too early, not jump the gun on anything. But, again, just that little interplay between what the executives want and what the team wants. So, I mean, just thoughts on, that little dynamic there?
Matt Booty needs to keep his hands to his fucking self. That's what, let those people, Playground Games, thank you for standing your ground. No, I'm so fucking serious. Matt Booty, fuck you. Don't fucking touch that shit. Let them do what they do best. This is exactly what we need. This is exactly motherfuckers saying, hey, no, Booty. This is what we need. Is because it's at the end of the day, they're super smart because we don't need another Fallout 76. We don't need another Cyberpunk 2077. We don't need that. Let them make the game and show it when it's ready. So then that way, when we see it and we're like, whoa, this is great, they can be like, guess what? This game is coming out a year, 6 months, whatever. Because then they'll have that amount of time to fix any problems that are necessary. Have it ready, show it off, see the feedback, and if people are like, oh, I'm afraid that the game is going to be too slow or whatever, let's see if we can tweak that. You know what I'm saying? This is the smart play. Just have it ready to go, see what they say when they see it, and then be like, oh, this is just us early build. What do you think? And they're like, no, I need that right now. And if everybody's like, we need that right now, no problem. All right, cool. Let us work on fixing the bugs, and we'll have it out in 6 months. Or, hey, this doesn't look like da-da-da-da-da. We don't really like the art style over here, the shading, whatever the fuck. And then be like, oh, cool. Okay, cool. Well, we're still a year out. So, let us work on that. It just only makes sense. At this point, you can't expect people to be understanding. We all know gamers are very impatient. We all know that these consumers want their shit now. So you're going to have to start tricking them literally like a baby and being like this is the airplane type thing to feed them. You have to literally lie to them. Lie to me, please. Tell me the game is not ready yet. Please don't show me anything until the game is actually ready, and then be like, oh, we're still in early development. I don't care. That's what I want, because at the end of the day, that way when your game comes out, you're going to look way better than somebody who's like, oh, our game is coming out in a few years. It's called Cyberpunk, and you didn't even have a picture to show us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hope this exchange here gives people an insight into how developers and executives differ on one part, and how those decisions have an impact on how a game is presented and how a game is portrayed and has a connotation in the public eye. You see how there's two different interests. You know what I'm saying? There's a side of the developers. I feel like people think that they're so far removed from humanity that they just make games and that's it. These are actual human people that understand and they listen. They're looking at the timeline just as we're looking at a Twitter timeline. You know what I'm saying? So they're not unwise to the situation. But then there's also the executive presence of people who want what they want. They want to show this off. They want to, hey, listen, they want to, this would be a good win for the Xbox brand if we show it now. But then people in the dev side is like, yo, we don't know. We're not ready yet, bro. We don't think this would be a good time to do it, because if people start clamoring for it, we're gonna have to rush. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a really telling example of why we need to be more attentive to these situations and be more gracious with these developers, because it's a sad case where CD Projekt Red's name is forever marred because they had to make a decision I believe was heavily influenced by executives and board members saying you need to drop your game by this date and not adhere to the schedule to release a game when they needed to, when they wanted to, when the game was fully ready and stuff was really squashed to a point where you could say it's quality. I think a game like, okay, Fallout 76 might have still been ass, but the fact that it came out super buggy indicates that there was a lot more that they could have fixed in a certain time span that maybe executive presences have forced them to basically cut short and drop the game early. You know what I'm saying? If we're operating on this line of logic, which I think is pretty common across the industry, we have to understand that there's executive pressures on these development studios to meet a timeline, to meet share price, to do all these things that sometimes force very, very grave mistakes in their life cycle and for their brand value. And I feel like it's something that the executives don't see in post because they just see the stock price dropping like, oh shit, the game is bad. Then the game must be bad. Not that, oh, the game wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we need to be more attentive to things like this and understand when, when somebody doesn't, release, info on something like that, which this is why I'm kind of cutting Ubisoft some slack. In hindsight, I am cutting Ubisoft some slack because they not announced something on what's the name yet on Splinter Cell, but that's another topic. I still want to see Splinter Cell though. Back. With this in mind, it's like when you see, again, people clamoring for a game, what they want to see, and sometimes they get that trailer, they get a CGI or something like that, and now they want to see more. You're kind of in that catch-22 where you have to keep providing more info. That's the Halo trap. That's what Halo got caught up with, bro. I feel like they got all the buzz of one little thing. They were like capitalize on a moment, and I feel like the execs were just like, yo, press the button, do it now. And they pressed the button, and then they had nothing to support it in the next 6 months. And everybody was like, yo, what happened to Halo? It just died, bro. Guess it was a bad game, or I guess it was a dead game, blah, blah, blah. Didn't have enough content. And then the devs were just looking at y'all like, bro, y'all told us to drop this shit now. Y'all told us to do this now. So it's a real telling conversation within the gaming industry that I feel like a lot of people should start looking at conversations like this, looking at executive words towards their developers, because sometimes they don't operate on the same accord. Again, sometimes they have their different interests, and sometimes that forces games to take routes that are unfortunate for the consumer.
Yeah.
Damn, man. That's my 2 cents on it. Damn, I feel good today. I'm not gonna lie. That delivery was good right there. I'm keeping it buck shit. All right, well, that's all we got on the show today, man. I know I had a couple of extra notes to mention, but do you have anything from the news this week that we probably might have missed?
Not that I can think of, honestly. I wasn't really paying too much attention to anything on esports related. So, like, no, I think we're pretty caught up.
Yeah, word, bro. Yeah, I know there was actually this morning the 1,000-year Blood War arc trailer for Bleach released, and I know people clamor for that. I literally saw an episode guide on how to catch up 300 episodes before the show came out. And I was like, yo, that was the Nerd Council too. Shout out to the Nerd Council. Appreciate y'all for that. I'm like, yeah, I might have to do that, bro. Without the filler too, I might have to actually, pull the audible. But yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say I've been reading it. That's how I've been catching, because I've watched it before, but I watched when I was younger, so I've been reading it to catch up, and I'm pretty close to being caught up.
Word, yeah, I might have to actually make that happen. And in terms of other news, man, I know we talked about last week. Halo's kind of is in a bad spot, not kind of. But the Halo 4 trailer actually dropped, and they showcased like, yo, what you can do. That shit looks amazing. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. That shit looks fucking amazing. But I don't know if it's gonna be necessarily enough. Like they could literally make the fans could literally make an entirely new Halo Infinite experience, and they could drop like a whole 1,000,000 hours worth of maps and content, and then they're just not gonna come out with a game, bro. I'm probably gonna get griff ball in that game from the fans faster than I did the devs, which is insane to think about. And then the only other piece that I didn't include on the show notes was Iron Man. EA said that they're planning to drop an Iron Man game, or it was reported that they're gonna drop an Iron Man game. And it wasn't on the Marvel EA showcase, so I guess they're probably not ready yet. But it was just funny that it came out in that report, and everybody was like, "So we're gonna pay like $100 for a Mark IV suit? Cool, all right, bet." DLC is gonna be actually ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Just get a metallic elbow is gonna cost you about $3.99. But it's gonna be an interesting time. Aside from that, that's pretty much all we got on the show today. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Again, rate this podcast 5 stars on all podcast platforms that are available with it, namely Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Of course, we are on other podcasts as well, podcast platforms as well, Anchor, Google Podcast, Stitcher. Be sure to check us out there. I'm about to say, be sure to check our Twitter at No Cooldown Pod for all updates and little things that we have through the week. Make sure to check out the video version at Wotaku channel on YouTube. That's WOTAKUCHANNEL, and more content that's dope from WenEazy. Of course, check at ThatManTripp for all of your content from my end. Check Growth as well at All for Growth on Twitter, and from there you can find all of our links. Any closing notes before we get up out of here? When?
Drink your water. Splatoon is out, so if you care about that, play that. But there's gonna be so many more games coming out. It's not even funny.
Bro, it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a time.
Yeah. So save your money, drink your water, and play the games that you buy, and don't buy new ones until you play them. I will not be following this advice though. So
I was just about to say, I'm dead ass not gonna follow that advice. I'm not following it. I'm not doing it.
exactly.
My closing notes is this: we're getting to crunch time. May actually be time to pull the trigger. Might have to play Elden Ring soon. That is all. Thank you all for watching and listening. I appreciate all you, every single one. Thank you again for 200 plays. Let's get to 200 more. Make sure you guys rate this all 5 stars. Make sure you share the podcast, show love, man. We trying to be the best out here, but we doing it. We don't settle down for nothing because there's no cooldown, baby, and we are out of there.